just let everyone know that we are live.
Got the stream on the PlayStation, so it's on the TV screen. And I am all settled here with all the caffeine and sugar I could need.
Yeah, I should probably go grab some root beer. In fact, I'll go do that. I'm sending out the links.
Hello, everybody. Bear will be here in a moment. Happy 4th of July.
Alrighty.
Welcome back.
I got my soda and my brother gave me a sandwich.
Also, before I forget, hey Rapidash, if you're out there, sis, happy birthday. Love ya.
Aww. Hello, Internet. Welcome back to the stream. Vegas Bear here, as always, with Mekumon.
Hello.
Taro and Webb have decided to take a vacation. So, it's just us for today and tomorrow. But today is a very special day. At least if you live in America.
Or if you have a sibling who has a birthday today.
That too. It's the 4th of July! Independence Day! America's birthday! One of the most, if not the most important day in American history, and also a very important day in world history. Because I'm American, but I also know that 4th of July, is not a big deal to the rest of the world, but it is, because of that day, the United States exists, and for good or bad, the United States has affected the rest of the world in one way or another.
Yeah, to quote a certain crazed bean, like, what is it they say about America again? Fuck yeah! No, the other thing. You suck! Yeah, that about tracks.
Yeah. So today, to celebrate America's birthday, and the fact that I can drink root beer and not tea, we are playing. God damn it. And of course, the Elgato decides
double the relaxation, double the massaging hair time, double the sudsy satisfaction, and double the neck and shoulder treatment, double the unkinked neck. But we only want to pay once. So let's do that. At Sport Clips, you can have it all twice for the price of having it all once. For a limited time, the Ultimate MVP haircut experience costs the same as the MVP. The Ultimate MVP Relax and Repeat event at Sport
Do you have
Clips.
an ad
It's a
going?
game changer.
Yeah, I have some ads going. I don't know how you guys deal with it on my screen when I put the headphones in, but
Alright. In order to celebrate America's birthday, we're playing Broforce.
otherwise known as, I can't believe it's not G.I. Joe.
Yep. So, I deleted my save. Fresh Broforce experience.
Three, two, one, go, go, go!
And now for a celebratory bunger.
Longer?
Yeah.
Here we have the globe. Finding Hawaii is one item. Find them and save them.
Taro, hello. Well, since he's not here for the Sentai counterpart, what the heck? Let's rock it! MEGA Mega.
You can go.
Power Orange!
Mega purple.
I thought you were taking a break, mister.
I was. Then I ended it.
How you feeling?
Better.
Ladies, gentlemen, and others, Taro.
It's good to have you back. See, we're playing Broforce.
Yeah,
Commando!
for all its faults. Yeah, for all its faults, like, it's not perfect by any means, but it's home.
Mm-hmm. So we have unlocked the Arnold Schwarzenegger character from Commando.
Isn't this the game where the characters from Alien show up?
It is an homage to
It was the most American game we could think of.
Like, if this doesn't make you go USA, USA, I don't
3, 2,
know.
1, let's
First
go!
second. The first second I was about to yell out Power Rangers.
Funny how we just went through a morph sequence before that. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Carl. I heard it too.
Bob Rodicus. I think this is the guy from the 80s.
Oh, flamethrower, is that the war crime and a half?
Hans, get the flamethrower.
Walker!
Walker, Texas Ranger! And it's appropriate that we
Well,
got
I mean,
hit.
he's a ranger, so I guess you can count it.
The special attack. Throw a grenade. Red, white, and blue, motherfucker!
Oh god. All this Ranger in American talk is reminding me of the powerful Rangers from Akiba Ranger.
And it just makes me sad knowing that Power Rangers is basically on hiatus right now.
When you say hiatus, I say dead.
No, apparently they are working on something behind the scenes. There was a collaboration between Hasbro and somebody else going on. They're just not ready yet.
I thought they canceled that.
They canceled something, but I think the project is still going. Yeah, like, the next General Power Rangers project is still going. It's just a Netflix thing that went under.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I don't think you've actually seen the Rangers.
I don't know why, but the mere mention of the name makes me all sorts of wary.
Okay. So basically, hold on. Let's see if there's a GIF of these goofballs.
Was that the one where the Red Ranger's helmet had like the emo hair going on or something?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And in one episode,
I deliberately avoided that one.
in one episode, Jason and Tommy decide to show up.
Oh, I've seen gifs of that where they had like freaking American flag designs on their gloves and boots and belts
And the collar.
and the collar.
Bro hard.
The whole episode is sorry, Ben. The whole episode is basically oh, Sentai is a copy of Power Rangers. Sentai started from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and worked its way up.
Despite the fact that anyone with a brain knows that ain't true.
Well,
Here, here's the thing, though. Season 1 dealt with delusions. Season 2 was delusions becoming reality.
Oh god.
So one delusion that popped up was the Powerful Rangers.
Black Rower!
So basically, that GIF you see there, that's Jason and Tommy walking up to three unofficial Sentai Rangers and giving them a cease and desist. And I can tell this show is already giving you a headache and you're not even going to watch it.
I am so happy I have my freaking caffeinated water and various sugary candies here because ow.
Oh, don't get me started when the Kiba Red broke the fourth wall and transformed in reality. That was cool. No one can admit that one was cool. No one can say
yeah.
So I figure I'm just going to get this out here just to get it out of my system. So you can continue on with your topic afterwards, and I'm sorry for interrupting you on it. You know those Minicon things I've been collecting recently, Taro? Well, I've managed to find another batch. For another Minicon weapon that I had been attempting to complete. This particular Minicon weapon is called the Skyboom Shield.
Broforce military. President birthday.
Covert operation. Homegrown. Recapture
making sure I am not interrupting Bear reading anything before I continue.
Oh, I said go ahead.
Alright,
I finished.
so in the show, the Skyboom Shield was built up as the only thing capable of blocking the Star Saber in combat. And much like the Star Saber itself, I have one minicon from this team currently in my room. And I have had that one minicon for a while. Recently, I managed to track down the other two members of his team, so now I can get the sword and the shield at roughly the same time. I even joked with Bear, just watch. Now that I've ordered a second copy of the Hilt minicon, because the one I previously ordered got lost in the mail, the one that got lost is gonna just show up.
It always turns
Let's
out.
go!
They really do that.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Damn it.
I saw that mission failed screen on the TV.
Yeah, you're gonna be seeing that a lot.
3, 2, 1, go, go, go!
I am by no
Uh,
means a master at this game.
But yeah, between that and a couple of figures I found in just the local Walmart, I'm pretty happy with with this month's load. Like, say,
3, 2, 1, go, go!
the Gamerverse Starscream, so I've got the Starscream from the High Moon games.
What do you mean it didn't explode?
So, yeah. And
I love the
Would you
fact
like-
that those guys just panicked.
make one. Would you like to know how this show ended?
How did it end?
So, it gets revealed that an invasion force is coming in. The Yakuza Rangers are fighting them off and doing pretty well for themselves. Until their mentor kept sending out red flags, death flags.
Oh no.
And I can only remember one of these red flags. I can't remember the other ones because it's been a while. The one I do remember is, I really hope you three return home safely.
Why do you jinx us like that?
Let's be honest, she's not a good guy.
And then, because she kept saying death flags over and over and over, and they were in space,
Oh no, I think I know where this is going.
they, along with their mech, flew into the rising sun.
Like, people often joke about Zordon being an asshole to the Mighty Morphin Rangers, but holy shit!
Yeah, I'm happy that the Zenkaigers actually had a Akiba Ranger gear. Meaning they do exist in the Sentai universe in some aspects.
Either that or Zenkaiser just covers everything, including the unofficial things.
I wanna believe that they exist in some aspect in Synth.
This is basically how I feel about G Savior.
Isn't that the live action movie?
See, there are some mobile suit designs from that thing that I actually like, and the plot is not necessarily dead on arrival. After all, Zeta Gundam proved it worked. For those who don't know, around, like, 1999-ish, there were two projects to celebrate the anniversary of Gundam. One of which was Turn A Gundam, and the other was a live-action movie called G Savior. G Savior had a lot of problems, and I mean a lot of problems. Not the least of which was the fact that throughout the entire movie, nobody even once utters the name Gundam.
Sounds like Wizard, actually.
This movie was so... It received so much backlash that Bandai refuses to even touch it outside of occasional references for a wink and nudge to the audience. They can't even be bothered to decanonize it because that would mean having to give it any more attention than brief cameos.
Braid joins the battle.
Right.
So, because of this, because they refuse to even touch it long enough to decanonize it, and really the only attention it's gotten outside of, you know, that was a single cameo in Build Fighters, it means, technically, G-Savior still exists as the furthest point to the Universal Century we've ever had before the calendar change. So, yeah. This, like, Bear will understand that this thing takes place after Crossbone.
How this happens?
We're officially in the Universal Century 200.
So I shot a
Oh.
Something, something, not the bees.
Anyway, continue, Nico.
So, I've said before that the premise isn't dead on arrival. It's another conflict between the Earth and the space colonies, or an organization representing both, over essentially a food shortage. The people of the colonies are starving. And it is in their attempts to procure more supplies that mobile suit conflict breaks out. And in order to end the conflict quickly, one of these governments, I forget for which side, breaks out a Gundam-type mobile suit called the G-Savior. The G-Savior, its concept might seem familiar. It is a mobile suit that is basically a skeletal frame that can be equipped different armor sets for different scenarios to fight different opponents in different ways. It is a modular Gundam that wears different armor suits for different missions.
hello there,
Gundam Age, Impulse, the Strike, the Core Gundams. And like, if you look at the actual design of the G Savior itself, it's not bad.
3, 2, 1, go!
A little bland, I'll admit, but not bad. And that cameo I mentioned it having in Build Fighters, existing for 2 seconds just to get killed on screen.
Red.
That's not right.
Someone once joked, yes, you enjoy seeing me suffer, but this is still a joy to me, because if nothing else, this proves that I exist.
Red.
Oh yeah,
Murphy's
come on!
Law. Murphy's Law. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. Would you like to know how the gear worked, actually, Mako?
And this ought to be good.
This is basically... This is basically what happened to... What was it? What Gundam was it again?
G Savior?
G Savior. In Build Fighters. Instead of giving the Zenkaichers the abilities they had in the show. Instead of that, they attached to the villains they were fighting, and they had the villains say the 3 death flags.
That's fucking funny.
3, 2, 1.
They literally existed to self-destruct like Cybermen. That's hilarious.
It's literally G Savior, just in Sentai form.
Except, at the very least, when G Savior did its cameo, it didn't self-destruct. It was sliced in half by an enemy player. Just to go into some slightly more detail about what G Savior had, that I'm like, okay, that could actually work. Some things I appreciate. First off, the beam sabers were blue. You don't see that too often with Gundams, let alone main leads. Second off, it had a beam shield, which, yeah, for the time in the Universal Century it's supposed to be taking place, it makes sense to have them. For what it is, it's supposed to be a very versatile mech. It's just we only got to see one equipment backpack because the movie bombed so badly. Any hope for a sequel with other equipment just kind of flew out the window.
Bro in black. Guess what his weapon is?
It's the neuralizer, isn't it?
No, it's the noisy cricket. His special is the neuralizer.
What?
His special weapon is the neuralizer.
I'm gonna be honest, I zoned out for a second, so I thought you said the noisy neuralizer. Anyway, is that all it was?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's basically it. I've covered everything that G Savior had to its name.
So I finished the first season of Ranger Rejects. What was it, yesterday? All I can say is, holy fuck! It hit hard.
I just realized, happy birthday, America! Continues to ramble on about Japanese media.
I mean, we did kind of segue into this fix to Akimo Ranger, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
Blame the unofficial Sentai.
I mean, everybody else does.
Oh no, right? Akimo Ranger!
I just used MacGyver's special attack, the special weapon. There's a turkey stuff in it.
That's a what?
A turkey with a bomb stuff. Watch.
If that doesn't scream American, I don't know what does.
It causes all the enemies to become like interested in the turkey, not knowing what's on.
Is it gonna explode in 3 seconds unless someone takes a bath? Sorry, SpongeBob reference.
But really, let's be honest. The bear stream wouldn't be a bear stream without Japanese media.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
One day I will play the city. One day.
Just imagine a bear plays that game. We just start talking solely on American stuff.
We start talking about fucking G.I. Joe, Transformers,
Hey, we already talked Transformers.
Last Action Hero. I don't fucking know.
What else? What else was I gonna say?
Terrorcopter!
What else was I gonna say? Oh. So, make one. This might be of interest to you, actually. I got myself a pack of Digimon cards. Yeah, yesterday.
Dirty Brody!
Ooh.
Will a off-first Veedramon be of any use to you?
Ooh.
Six more kills to what?
My favorite bird is an American eagle.
So I forgot to read
Generation freedom.
That level in. This is Arkansas. Sources claim that it is in fact a country. Let's move out.
And now all I can hear is Jacksepticeye screaming, "Glory to our Stonska, greatest country!"
3, 2, 1, go!
Glory, greatest country.
Oh, actually. So, I actually had an idea about the gotcha thing I've been wanting to work on. There's the gotcha driver. They're the Kemi, what was it, risers? Those little, like, handheld things. But what about, oh, I don't know, Kemi adapter? An arm-mounted card scanner that would allow the user to actually use the abilities of a Kemi instead of just throwing them at their opponent. They basically, yes. Say you have Gengen Chocho and Bullet Bang. It's basically a flying, I'm gonna have our friendship and this gun I summoned. And if you use, Steamliner and Hopper 1, basically it's a descending I like trains.
I like winning. I like fighting. I like trains.
I like scatter. I'll have to watch more Gotcha episodes so I know what more Kemis can do. Actually, Wrestler G and Ant Trooper. An army of wrestlers. Like literally, scan Ant Trooper first. Scan Ant Trooper first, and you get the ability to clone yourself. Scan Wrestler G, and all of a sudden your clones along with yourself gain muscles.
Just an army of wrestlers doing RKOs. Brominator!
Also, just to clear this up, because I told with this beforehand, also Web says hi.
Hi.
I told Web this one like before I saw YouTube in here. And it's you don't put it's not duelist where you put cards on a little platform attached to the arm mounted thingy. How do I say this?
Let's go.
Take Gutchard's gun. Get rid of the gun aspect. Attach the scanner bit to your hand.
Oh shit.
I have one last thing I've got to mention, and I am about 80% sure that what I'm gonna start talking about will sound like gibberish to Taro.
Oh my god.
So, fairly recently, I encountered a conversation online about how people were debating whether or not the Flood could take over the Transformers universe.
The Flood from Halo.
The thing with the Flood is, to sum them up as briefly and as simply as possible, they are space zombies that don't just absorb your body, they absorb your mind.
I know what the Flood are. Me and my dad have played Halo.
Oh, good. And I can just get right into it. The fact that because some Halo fans want to use the precursor neurophysics thing that the Flood technically has access to as an excuse to go, yeah, the Flood could totally beat Unicron is just ridiculous.
Unicron looks at that shit and just goes, "Oh, how cute!" before he feasts.
I have no words.
So, neurophysics in Halo is this idea that everything is alive, from the organic beings that live in the universe, to the universe itself, to the mere concept of concepts. Everything is, in some fashion, alive, even if it's not in a way we can immediately recognize it.
Mission failed.
And also remembers, which is why the Flood just retains the memories of everything they've assimilated. Even if they've been wiped out and have to build themselves back up from like single cell organisms. Unicron is a god of death. And I mean this in the most literal possible sense. He is oftentimes depicted as some kind of dark god or eldritch entity with the domain over darkness, chaos, and death. Unicron's mere presence would nullify any neurophysics going on because literally the very things you're relying on to live for neurophysics to work just die around him. And someone suggested the logic plague, which the Flood has used to drive both organics and AI alike crazy, to turn them to its side. And I'm like, that's cute. You think Unicron cares about any form of logic or the mortal being's incessant need to rationalize everything that goes on. Unicron just is.
He is the Eldritch Honey Badger, for he does not give a fuck.
The most desperate argument I've ever seen was suggesting that the Flood would somehow just... I'm sorry, I gotta build myself up here to talk about this because this is one of the dumbest ideas I've ever seen. So, the argument was that the Flood would grab a ship with faster than light capability and send a portion of themselves with a functioning grave mine out of the galaxy so that the remaining Flood could use the Halo array itself to attempt to wipe out the Cybertronian kind and Unicron all at once. I cannot stress enough that that is not how the Halos work. Moreover, that the Flood would never actually use it. using the halos because it hurts the Flood more than it hurts everything else.
The Halo was literally designed to kill the Flood and its food source.
The way Halo works is that when the array fires, it is firing a specialized type of radiation that fries nervous systems, preventing the Flood from infecting new bodies, and also frying any existing Flood forms that happen to be out and about. Robots don't have nerves.
Robots very much don't have those.
It is true Cybertronians do have something akin to senses. They do feel things. They do see things. But it is not like an organic nervous system. And it would not be affected the same way. Cybertronians would live through a Halo event. As would Unicron, who is significantly tougher than your typical Transformer.
It took the combined knowledge and leadership of thousands of Transformers to kill it.
And even then, that death was temporary.
Basically, it was all for... No, it was one for all, but with a lot more users.
And I reiterate, it was a temporary measure. Unicron just keeps coming back. If you want to argue that the Flood could solo the Warhammer universe or see those neurophysics, whatever, fine. I don't know enough about Warhammer to argue. If you want to say they could take over Marvel or DC, I can't argue that either because I don't know enough about either. I basically hyper-fixated on Spider-Man stuff and left it alone from there. Is it you suggest Transformers would fall to that? That is where I start drawing the line in the sand.
It's like the whole Goku wins argument.
I have compared this neurophysics bullshit argument to Batman fans using prep time as a crutch. Because that is exactly what it is.
Mission failed.
You are basically throwing out the discussion in favor of, well, I win because Z.
Mission failed.
Hey,
3, 2, 1, go, go, go!
You do realize that if you give Batman prep time, you're unwittingly giving his opponent prep time too, out of the sheer spirit of fairness.
I mean, unless the opponent doesn't even know Batman's gunning for them. Like, that is kind of his whole shtick. That you don't see him coming.
And then when people say he could beat Spider-Man with prep time, I just get to say 2 words and it drives them nuts.
Spider sense.
Spider sense.
Ah!
I'll be back in a moment.
Because the way Spider sense works, it's not just an alert to danger. Peter himself has described it as this way in comics before. It is not just an alert to danger, it is essentially an awareness of literally everything around him. Even if he's not consciously aware that he's aware. He knows where every crack in the sidewalk is without looking.
Failed.
He knows where every he basically has. I need to pull my brain together for this because I am just kind of rambling. There's a comic out there that describes what life is like with a spider sense, like Peter's, okay?
Okay.
And he describes how it comes in different severities depending on what he's interacting with. It can be a dull tingle for small dangers to full-blown migraines for stuff that's actually super life-threatening. So he lives in a constant state of headache.
Suddenly, I don't want to be Spider-Man.
Let me posit to you this. Imagine you set an alarm to wake you up in the morning because there's something important you have to do the next day.
Yep.
Your spider sense will wake you up mere minutes before the alarm goes off.
I wake up at least a good 2 hours before it goes off. Usually with a headache.
Congratulations! You have an idea what it's like for Peter.
No wonder his life is miserable. He has to deal with migraines all day.
And he can't afford to take anything to dull the pain.
Alright, threat level red. The people from this country look, speak, and act differently to us. Let's move fast, bros!
Oh god.
I mean, this is basically a parody game.
Yep. The first level was called Vietnam.
Sad thing is, I remember a joke like this in a G Gundam Abridged series, but I'm getting off track.
3, 2, 1, go!
Like, you wanna know how sensitive that spider sense of Peter's is? It was able to warn him that the fish being served at a restaurant was ever so slightly past its expiration date.
Damn.
3, 2, 1, let's go!
People saying that Batman could find a way around this, like, the only ways to get past the spider sense are to either move faster than they can perceive you, which, good luck, be essentially considered a part of Peter and therefore invisible to the spider sense, hello Venom and all symbiotes spawned from him, or to find a way to completely neutralize it. Alternatively, Peter has to actively ignore it. And good luck finding a way to neutralize that spider sense, because that is something Peter tends to keep very hush-hush. You'd be surprised how well he actually keeps the spider sense a secret from even his fellow heroes.
I mean, it is his greatest. It is his greatest tool.
3, 2, 1, go, go, go!
Like, in most continuities I've seen, that spider sense is like the biggest secret he's ever kept. Even more so than his identity as Spider-Man. I know for a fact that even if Batman discovers the existence of the spider sense, he's not necessarily gonna know how to counter it.
I feel like once he learns about the spider sense, RoboCop. If he's instead of trying to fight Peter, he's gonna try and recruit Peter.
Because Pete's an asset.
Exactly.
Think about it. Why would Batman attempt to fight and neutralize Spider-Man when doing any amount of research? Like, we all know Batman can and has figured out the identities of multiple superheroes based on nothing more than a hunch. World's greatest detective, after all.
I mean, Clark Kent, Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, like that fit in Justice League Unlimited was perfect.
Also, it was Wally West, not Barry Allen. My bad.
Clark Kent, Wally West. But yeah, like, as much as people go, yeah, Batman makes contingency plans for everybody, and yes, that is true. He'd have a harder time with Spidey than he would with some of the other supers he's encountered, you know?
Yeah.
I'd honestly believe his contingency plan would be trying to make sure Peter doesn't turn on him.
Yeah, I was about to say, his contingency plan for Spider-Man would just be to keep him happy.
Like, genuinely, it's not so much as reacting to Peter turning against him, it's prevention altogether. Because if there's one thing Peter's known for, even if it doesn't always turn out well, it's loyalty to his friends. And when he does have to turn his back on a friend, it usually tears him apart.
Most recent example being Kindred. Well, most recent example I care about, at least.
The example that came to my mind was PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You do what you think is right, Doc. It's all any of us can do. Even when it hurts like hell.
Peter? Where are you going? Peter! Those
So yeah, let's see.
sorry.
Let's go ahead.
Those last few lines from Doc Ock in the first game are just so... Oh, fuck.
Like, him and Peter, their actors gave it their A game, especially in especially in that final leg of the game. Like, kudos. But then again, what else am I, like, in the case of Peter there, what else am I expecting from Ben Tennyson?
Slash every other important role he's ever done.
Like, part of why I thought the symbiote saga for him would turn out more than what it did was because this dude knows how to play angry and just blindly vengeful, because, like, dude played Sasuke Uchiha in the English dub of Naruto, so, like, he knows how to do angry.
Yep. fact, once again, it is time for the bringing up an actor's IMDb. Alrighty.
We interrupt the action to bring you Bear Cave Trivia.
Alright, let's see here. He voiced characters in Elder Scrolls that I don't care about. Neil from Camp Camp. He voiced Mr. Waits and Jacob Van Osten from Alone in the Dark.
I recall hearing his voice somewhere in Fallout New Vegas.
He voices Johnny in the Final Fantasy VII Remake series. He is voice 2 in Helldivers. Eiichiro Takeba in Persona 3 Reload. He's in Lego Fortnite, Hullabaloo, Naruto X Boruto, Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections as Sasuke Uchiha and Leaf Ninja E. American Arcadia, Spider-Man 2, duh. Spawn Princess, Far Longer Than Forever. Oh, he voices Smoke in Mortal Kombat 1. He voices Michelangelo in TMNT Splintered Fate. He voices Alf in Cassette Beast, which I didn't know about. He was the voice of Mon-El in Legion of Superheroes. Voice of Marth in Fire Emblem Engage. He voiced Cobra in Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind. He voiced Barnaby Brooks Jr. in Tiger and Bunny. He voices Adam and He-Man in He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the 2021 Netflix show. He voiced a couple characters in Young Justice. I can't pronounce these names. Well, I can pronounce one of them. Lizard Johnny.
What's the actor's name again?
Yuri Lowenthal.
Didn't know when Spider-Man was mentioned.
He voices Uncle Ted in The Ghost and Molly McGee. He voices Mirror Master in Injustice. Oh, and Flash. And Shazam! He voices Sato Takano in Lost Judgment. He voices...
Oh. I have some trivia for you on the note of the Ben 10 thing.
Okay.
Well, we know him for voicing Teenage Ben in the original series continuity. He voiced Vilgax in the reboot.
Ah! Oh, that's right. I remember that. Oh yeah, he voiced Chandlo in Bug Snacks. I forgot.
This is.
Yeah, he's voiced a lot of fucking characters.
Mm-hmm. I'd love for him to voice a character in Transformers someday, if he hasn't already.
Holy shit. I'm looking at his credits and like, oh my god. He voiced Harvey Dent in Gotham by Gaslight. That's awesome.
I'll be back in a minute.
I know for a fact that he voiced a character called Howard Wright in Siren Blood Curse. Okay, there's too many credits here. Like, way too many. Oh, wait, he was in Transformers, Robots in the Skies.
Yeah, I just got there.
Glacius.
He voiced the Minicon.
Nice. Alright. Enough of that, back to the game.
According to the bio here, it reads, Glacius is slightly more reasonable and upbeat than his buddy Swelter, although that's not saying all that much. This Minicon uses his icy blast to freeze his enemies solid. When combined with Swelter's literal firepower, the duo can melt and refreeze metal to trap their enemies. Although both Minicons hired themselves out to various Decepticons back on Cybertron, they've fallen in with Razor Paw since arriving on Earth, a less than ideal partnership. This newfound fear of their master is pretty much the only thing keeping both Minicons from going their own way.
Oh. So I just got up the Young Justice wiki about Velvet. Apparently Spider-Man works for the lights.
I forgot about the light. Is that really still a thing?
The light?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Because if it's still a thing all these seasons in, like, I am kind of glad I dropped off the show.
Let's see.
Well, I can see why this pug was on the Alchemore in the first place.
Alright, I will be right back.
Alrighty, that was a tangent and a half.
Real quick, make one. Do you know what year in terms of the actual show Young Justice ended?
No. Sorry.
Hold on.
I can Google it though.
Please.
The air date for the final episode of Young Justice was June 9th, 2022.
Okay, so the light. There was no mention of the light since 2020. Okay.
The original series aired from 2010 to 2013. The 2022 date I gave was for the fourth and final season.
I was just saying, like, the last mention of anything pertaining to the light was in 2020.
Well, I hope that helped.
Fair enough, thank you.
Whew. Sorry about that. Had a Walmart order to take care of.
Okay, you're gonna be happy.
Why?
The last mention of anything pertaining to the light in universe was in 2020.
Yay!
I'm a little lost as to why that's a thing.
Why they
Keep in mind, I haven't really watched Young Justice. I never really was able to match the schedule for it.
Short version, Vandal Savage being Vandal Savage.
think. Also, I feel like it's supposed to be a counter to the team. Originally, the team was indesirable. Like, no one knew the team existed, so no one knew the light existed until they were revealed.
I don't know about that, because I know like their main concern was the Justice League. At least in the beginning. I don't know if that ever changed.
Yeah, I know they were after the Justice League. I'm talking about outside the universe, in our universe.
Oh.
Actually, looking at their quote-unquote goal is not even pertaining to the Justice League at all. Really just galaxy-wide domination under Earth's boundary.
Yeah, well, in order to do that, they gotta get rid of the Justice League first.
Okay. What? They have Leonard Snurp in their ranks.
How and why? Snart, you should know better.
They also got Bane. They also got the Riddler.
Okay, Bane and Riddler make sense.
See, always knifing.
Okay, Poison Ivy doesn't make sense. She hates humans.
What the place is Mr. Freeze here?
That's a good question. What the fuck? What, did they take Nora?
Former operatives. Cadmus, Cashier, fair enough. Jim Harper. Calderon. Wait, who? Oh! Okay, I'm dumb. Never mind. Red Arrow, Red Volcano, Virtual Falcon.
Static Shock.
What?
Yeah, why the fuck is he working for the light?
No, these are former operatives, so he,
Oh.
I guess he was tricked or something.
Or someone he cared about held hostage.
That better be the case, otherwise I'm gonna be very disappointed in Virgil.
Nothing to believe. Making. What's this move number again?
So, I wanted to share a little something with you guys. When I mentioned I had one of the Skyrim skills mini-con, mind if I read you the bio for the one I've got?
Just one real quick thing. I now have a mech.
Oh,
All shall fall before me.
wait. Proceed, make one.
The name is Downshift. Downshift used to be a real jerk. A speed demon race champion among the mini-cons. There was a time when the fact he wasn't the absolute #1 was fat as lug nuts. He's matured since then, however, and has dedicated himself to fighting for mini-con freedom rather than personal glory. However, some ones of that old bad code still linger in his system. Should the Skyrim Shield fall into Decepticon hands and remain there for too long, the corrupting influence can affect all 3 members of a mini-con race team, or race mini-con team, whatever. They're race cars, you get it. Even after they disengage, and the selfish, boastful, uber-competitive Downshift resurfaces. While the effect is only temporary, it's not something anyone on the team wants to go through. And the bio quote reads, "Nothing to prove, nothing to lose." Yeah, that's the one I got.
Nice.
We're dumb, actually.
We are.
Virgil, Asami, Ed, and Ty. They were all taken by the lights and experimented on, remember?
Hey, what? I thought they were experimented on by the...
The Reach.
The Reach, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But then after that, after they gained their powers, where were they held?
Oh. Threat level Crimson. No time to explain. You know what to do, Broforce. All right, I got a question for the two of you.
Let's see.
Would either of you be interested in my Chemicard duplicates?
What you got?
All right. Where's that? No. Hold on.
In that case, are you interested in any of my dupes? Oh, you're already gone. Actually, let me get my.
All right. I have a lot. So
I am reopening Twitch so I can see them in as close to real time as I can get.
I have the snake. Gorilla Sensei.
Got that one.
I have Ren King Robo.
Hold on, do I have that one? Let me check. Mother Ripa, Wrestler G, Guts Shovel, Smartphone, and Stripper. Mistake.
I have an Ultimate Hawkstar, or Ultimate Rare. Or Ultra Rare, or whatever the fuck it's called. I've got Buglizia. Venom Drake. Another Hawkstar. Yami Bat. Another Venom Drake. I have several blank cards.
I don't think I have any of those actually.
Okay, I'm just gonna go through these and group up the dupes.
I forget, what do you have? Like, minus the dupes, what do you got?
You mean like the ones that are in my binder?
That you plan on keeping yet.
Huh?
That you plan on keeping, yes.
The ones I plan on keeping. Alright. I've got...
Apologies, folks. Just midstream card trading.
I have 1 to 9 of the insect category.
Ooh.
I have all 9. I have the first 9 cards.
Just show like a dog wolf thing and a bear or with a bunch of card binders are doing their thing, and Nekumon just playing with a transformer in the background.
I have 1 to 10 for the job category. I have 1 to 9 for the vehicle category. 1 to 10 for the plant category. 1 to 9 for artifact. And 1 to 10 for animal.
card, and that's Beetle X.
That's which one?
Beetle X.
I am looking for that card.
I only have one. I can't.
I know, and I know it. That's what makes me so mad. Cause I'm gonna have to buy another Phase 1 box, but that means I'm gonna have a shit ton of more duplicates.
Filthy, both physically and verbally, Dirt Boss intentionally skips maintenance checkups to keep his engine loud and misfiring, despite the risks this poses to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Foul
honest,
mouths
Beetle
and
X is
foul
my
smelling,
level
he
10.
enjoys stalking and annoying those around him. He could stand to be around him for any length of time, including his teammates, who are likely the only ones willing to spend any time.
Where does Beetle X go?
Huh?
Please don't tell me. Please don't fight and tell me.
What's wrong?
My Beetle X is gotcha and gone apparently. I'm going through both decks of my card, both decks now. See if I can find him. Oh wait, here he is. Thank God.
Occasionally you can just get away. Yet Dirt Boss might actually be the smartest of the team, with knowledge of high-level physics and entropy studies. If he ever looks for a useful application for this information, but it certainly does give some insight into his attitude.
Okay.
Skybeam Shield.
So, Barry, you said 1 to 10 in which categories?
Job, plant, and animal.
Job, plant, and animal. So, can't trade you any gunny whales. Can't trade you any bullets.
Oh, I'm not asking for trade. I just want to know if you want it.
I know, but since you're offering, I might as well offer myself.
Once upon a time, Mirage was the cowardly sort. It was better to run and hide than live with the knowledge that he fought. When he was faced with the oppressive cruelty of the Decepticons and acts perpetuated by the less scrupulous Minicons upon mankind, Mirage was forced to realize that to do nothing in the face of injustice was the worst crime of all. No longer the shrinking violet, Mirage stepped up to become the intelligent, observant commander of Race Minicon team and fought in charge of Minicon society.
I have a shit ton of popper ones.
However,
You know what? So do I.
Feelings of remorse over his past cowardice and inaction to such an extent that he vigorously pushed for the race team to side with the Autobots in the hopes of never showing that other side of his personality ever again.
Sorry. Say what you have 1 to 10 in the game, Barry?
What?
Say what you have 1 to 10 in?
Job, plant, animal.
Job, plant, animal. So, let me just filter out those 3 categories. No, fine. No skipping me. You ain't skipping me yet.
You know what? I will organize all these cards later because I realize I actually have some rares in here, so.
Fair. I'm gonna do this now because Wi-Fi is not. We can talk more after stream.
Yeah.
Jetstorm is bottling up a whole lot of anger and resentment against the Decepticons. Their good-naturedness. His teammates, Runway, and Sonar come up. Afraid of his own. Evil intent and warp power and defense these combined modes of Star Saving. Tries hard to stay calm. It's better to be thought of as simple-minded than unleash the evil onto the universe where the Decepticons control. So, in the continuing tradition of Minicon characters who actually have more character outside their own damn show, shall I tell you a little bit about the Star Saber team? Well, that was just Jetstorm. I'm still getting to the other two. How about Runway next? Runway is the de facto leader of the Air Defense Minicon team and also the most talkative of the three. Though reluctant to enter battle, he's an incredibly skilled and quick-witted commander. Given a little time, he can come up with some truly bizarrely genius ploys that look suicidal at first, but really work out. Even though he's the brains and mouth of the team, Runway trusts his teammates explicitly and always looks to them before acting. As for Sonar, Sonar feels he owes Runway his life and more, so he backs up his leader, in air quotes, 100%. It's not that Sonar is any less intelligent than Runway or anything, he's just convinced that he owes Runway that much. Of course, Runway, being Runway, always turns to Sonar and says for advice and a pair of second opinions, though it seems he might not get the opinion he really needs out of either of them. Still, Sonar is quick and technically proficient, always good quality to have.
Mission failed.
And I love Sonar's quote here. Even an ace pilot is only as good as his wing bot.
3, 2, 1, go!
Yeah, when you look at these minicons, they got so much more personality outside of their own show. Right? If you look into the bio for her Megatron Minicon Leader 1, that is one of the saddest Minicon stories I've ever seen. Imagine, if you will, a good-natured, well-meaning leader that is his force has been essentially altered in mind and body, forcibly tortured and abused mentally and physically into becoming the tyrannical warlord he is today. That is Leader 1. Former leader of the Minicon as a people, captured by Megatron and put through the worst treatment imaginable to eventually become the living weapon he is now. And the worst treatment of all, the worst indignity he's ever suffered at the hands of Megatron, was being replaced. You know how in the show when the Decepticons got their recolors and the Autobots did too, their Minicons got recolored? Well, in the fiction, only the Minicons for Hotshot and Red Alert stayed the same. Albeit with new color schemes. The recolored Starscream in the show was actually treated as a separate character, which they made fun of, with Starscream calling out that he looks like Thunder Tracker. Because that was the name the toy was sold under. So making the Minicon be a separate individual there made sense. Galvatron's Minicon? Not so much.
AAJ.
Hello, AJ.
Heck yeah!
No. You should be saying the other thing. You suck! Yeah, that was it.
Oh my god.
Like, it was a joke, I remember. It was a joke, I remember Fawful telling in one of his TF2 videos way back. What was it that people keep saying about America? It starts with the F yeah bit. And he says, no, the other thing. And it cuts to a clip of somebody shouting, you suck. And he says, yeah, that's it.
I think I have this game.
Oh, really? No. EDF! EDF!
Earth Defense Force?
Yes. But for some reason, that blood pumping back shouting USA.
I mean, for what it's worth, it worked on me!
Yeah!
I guess it hits the idea of just saving the world. Anyways, to finish the topic I was rambling on about, Galvatron's Minicon in the package was named Flench. And according to the bio we have for him, this was a Minicon that Galvatron created from new parts. An entirely new Minicon built by Galvatron to essentially be everything Meter 1 wasn't. To call Clench sociopathic and or psychopathic is not doing him justice. Like, Flench lives to destroy and kill, and he enjoys every nanosecond of it.
Stove tank!
Surprise!
It only costs you 3 bros to do it.
Yep. also like group together all the duplicates?
This is a covert operation. McBrover is deep in enemy territory on a mission to actually murder the terrorist leader.
Just want to have more Gengen Chochos? That's weird. I'm not... Can't take it, but... Ant troopers going in this... The ant troopers are going to the save pile.
The last bit of Minicon trivia I will share is that apparently in the comics universe for Transformers Armada, there is a Minicon Matrix. A mystical item one of the Minicons used to summon another Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus from an alternate universe to help them in a time of crisis. And that was how Omega Prime wound up just appearing in the Transformers Cybertron cartoon to save Primus from being destroyed by Unicron's heralds.
Wait, that happened in the cartoon?
And it's kind of iffy here. Unlike the Armada and Energon comics, the Cybertron comics are supposed to be canon to the show.
Oh,
Which leaves it in this bizarre gray area because the characters and some of the items involved were used in the Armada comics, but were not present in the shows. Like the Minicon Matrix, for example. Or Optimus Prime's alternate partner, Overrun. Strategy is that this is the last recorded instance we ever got of the Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus from the RID 2001 cartoon. That was legit the last time we ever saw them. I mean, stealth is easier when you can just lay explosive traps and wander away so they don't see you.
I mean, what else can you go on? Confirmed reports? God, no.
You know how long it takes to confirm something?
better just shoot it in the ass.
Bro, you wanna wait for peace? Get out of my sight. realizing it's Neo.
Yep.
Or more accurately,
Hey.
Mr. Yeah, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Enderbro. Yeah, that's Neo.
Mr. Anderbro. Yep. Of course, good old Indiana Bro.
I think my favorite Indiana Jones moment I've ever seen, granted I haven't really watched the movies too much, but I've seen clips, was the Arab swordsman scene.
Oh, you mean the...
Just pull the gun and shoot him. Apparently, they improv that scene because the actor was injured. So instead of doing this long run after combat sequence, they just had him shoot the guy and walk away.
Which is funny as hell.
Probably my favorite instance of actor input changing a scene so far.
Earlier today. Me goes and with. Man, this place is nice as hell. Angels. What?
I don't think telling them it's just a figure of speech is gonna work.
Imagine.
I mean, it's the truth, but it's still not gonna work.
No. No. There. Just hope to God you're in a good place. You legitimately cannot curse there. And just hope to God you're not in a bad place that's disguised as the good place. You still can't curse there. You're just in hell.
I remember seeing this comic where, I'm forgetting the name, the character from Full Metal Alchemist ends up in hell. And the devil asks him why he's here, and then he asks, is this about my wife, my daughter, or my dog?
Oh!
The devil just pulls out a cell phone, dials a number, and says, yeah, God, it's me. He's here.
The worst part is I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Motherfucking Shout Tucker.
Otherwise known as one of the worst dads in anime.
Yeah.
I would call him the worst, but Gendo Ikari exists.
Yo, at least Kendo Ikari didn't turn his son into a fucking
No, just into a weapon to facilitate the mass extinction of humanity, to turn us all into a single gelatinous mass.
just so he could have a back.
I'm gonna be honest. Tucker's, like, Scar's killing of Tucker. I'm gonna be honest. That was too light a sentence. What I would have preferred is Tucker's head on a fighting pike, but here we are.
Remember the 2000
The Boondock Bros.
Chimera himself?
That happened?
Pretty sure that was all.
The 2003.
Oh yeah, they outpaced the manga, so they had to come up with their own ending.
Pretty sure that also happens in live action. Yeah, because like, I remember seeing remember watching Owner from Deno getting chased by Ed, and then then like at the end of the movie I was watching, here comes Tucker wanting to annoy more people. But like I said, if there's a new Full Metal Alchemist and they update how Tucker dies, I would not be opposed to petitioning for his head back.
The one chimera. He has an entire like lab of caged up chimeras. And what happens is someone named his daughter as a chimera opens up the cage and come for Tucker.
To be honest, actually,
Maybe show a glimpse of his eternal punishment in the afterlife.
I'm actually confused on something now. Now I'm done talking about Tucker. He fused an animal and his wife together, and then was what? Yeah, an animal and his wife together, and then his dog and his daughter. His wife and daughter are both human, yes? Then wouldn't that technically count as human transmutation?
In a sense, which is, I believe, also why he had keeping a secret. He had been keeping a secret how he made Chimera. Alchemists found out not only would he be arrested and put on trial, they would probably commit him.
I know. But how does Pfizer not be God? Is my question. It's still human transmutation, though.
It's not the same as trying to instead
You are transforming one thing into another thing as opposed to attempting to reverse death.
You're doing the basics of alchemy, turning one thing into another. But you're using humans as an ingredient, which is a big
No, I'm just saying.
You know what? You were going on about how you want his chimeras to end up coming for him. There is a specific way I want to see him go out now. What in the hell?
What? Ew. Put your arm down, sir.
So anyway,
What the fuck was that?
I don't think I want to know.
suicide bombing might not be
Anyway, you were saying?
So-
Nikolai?
I want Tucker to get. Like, it was Shot Tucker, yeah. I want this guy to get caught. And to borrow Bear's idea, the sentence he's given after his trial is to be executed by his own chimeras. Before they themselves are put down.
Honestly wishing something like that would happen, but instead Gar showed up and just didn't kill him because of what he did. killed him because he was an alchemist.
Well, I feel like either way, he would have killed him.
I know. But I feel like it's because he was an alchemist he did it, not because of what he did. Because Ed was still had a scarce practice in the beginning, and he did nothing to Scar. Yeah.
Who's to say it's not both? Both being an alchemist and doing what he did.
Let's go.
I mean, he did put Nina slash. Well, I mean, they did kind of. We're kind of fusing this place, I find it. He did kind of put Nina Xander out of his misery.
AJ Ryder asks, "You all right there? How are you doing on this fine Tennessee 4th of July?"
I was like confused for a second. I was about to say, Darren, how many AJs do you know?
Only one. Left Red is also a junior.
As far as I know, he is not.
What else? No, I kind of want to see what would happen if. Okay,
Rochetti.
here we go. Hear me out there, hear me out. Say Scar learns the truth about what happened during the Ishvalan War before meeting Tucker. And after he finds out what Tucker did, he still kills him anyway. I think that would be more satisfying.
It's Machete!
I can't hear the word. I can't hear the name Machete without thinking back to Young Justice and Rage.
So, changing gears yet again, I have a little something to tell you about Taro.
Can I finish it first?
Oh, sure.
The reason I'm saying this is because 2 words. Racist Superman.
Oh no, not this. Not again.
Homelander?
That's all I'm saying. He's not evil. He just doesn't know any better. That's all I'm saying.
It's
Mr. B18.
Terrorist.
Show them why they're wrong. Like Indiana Jones style, artifacts that can help you out in other levels, but they're so fucking difficult. I decided.
3, 2, 1, go.
what I was gonna say. I still gotta work up the attention span to do this, but I do have another short story planned for the MLP D&D. Continuing Midnight Pain's growth as a character between sessions. Where he's going to end up having to confront one of the harder truths about what happened to Lavender Knight.
Oh.
I don't think Midnight's ready to accept this, but he's gonna have to learn that it's not his fault. Lavender did it to himself. Among the many things I was, well, using quotations that are mileage will vary, but I was going to end up revealing Midnight's canonical middle name during that story.
One thing I do gotta say though about Young Justice and Rich Superman, they finished that arc in a marriage, right?
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Yep.
Anyway, they finished the arc in the best way possible, I believe. Batman had his head, had his mind travel the multiverse, looking for a Superman that can talk him down, because the only one Superman will listen to is himself. He travels the world, travels the multiverse, and finally coming across one Superman that can finally talk Superman to be nicer. The Superman that shows up from the dimensional portal is the one, the only Justice League Super.
Oh.
DCAU soup, yes.
Yeah.
Who outright tells him I've already met a Superman that goes a bit too far. And tells me,
he did.
and then tells me he doesn't want to go through that again, so don't make it.
The Justice Lord's just way heavy on everybody, man.
Yep. I also love the fact that even though we never got to see Justice Lord Flash, we did get to see what the costume would have looked like, and it's just Reverse Flash!
I mean, were you expecting any differently?
I mean, not really, because, like, Justice Lord Batman's outfit is very reminiscent of Owlman.
Also, I do believe it is the one time anyone actually managed to win an argument with the DCAU brood at that point in time.
We've created a world where no 8-year-old boy has to be afraid of some punk with a gun.
We created a world where no 8-year-old boy has to lose his parents thanks to some punk with a gun.
Thank you. I knew I got the quote wrong. And I love that moment because that's the moment where it broke Bruce. Like he knew that his other self was exactly right.
And his other self wasn't so far gone that he couldn't see the light again either. If I recall, Justice Lord Batman was one of the first bats to actually kind of turn around.
That I don't quite remember. I do remember him locking Wally up. And then when it seemed like Wally was having a heart attack, he panicked. Like, he freaked the hell out and panicked. Because it's like, oh no, not again!
I mean, when you have a second chance, wouldn't you take it?
Yeah.
Boy, did that multi-parter have lasting consequences for DCAU.
I mean... Amanda Waller.
The entire Cadmus arc.
Amanda Waller, everybody!
Oh, don't get me started on Waller. Have you seen the Suicide Squad Isekai ending?
Yes, I have. I wish I hadn't.
And the best part is, I can tell you exactly how far the Cadmus arc reached. Batman Beyond may not have happened if not for the Cadmus arc.
You're right.
So
No.
in a sense, you can thank the Justice Lords for the fact that Terry McGinnis even exists.
Or at least exists in the form we know him as.
Yeah, exists as we know him.
If it weren't for the events of the Cadmus arc, Amanda Waller wouldn't have like she wouldn't have realized that the world needs a Batman.
And moreover, wouldn't necessarily have had the technology to create one.
Like, sure, you have like all sorts of different heroes. You've got like you have your Flashes, you have your Supermen, you have your Green Lanterns. But the world will always need someone like Batman. Because out of all of the DC, out of all the Justice League groups, I feel like Batman is the one who has suffered through the most. Because yes, him and Clark both lost their family. The biggest difference being Clark was a baby.
Clark basically didn't know his family.
Bruce did.
And the family he did get to know managed to live through basically the entire DCAU up to the point, up to some point prior to Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond story arc was always weird. Only in that cartoon was Batman Beyond the actual future of that version of Batman. In the comics, the future was less straightforward. Yeah, I'm aware. But yeah, like, Clark was a baby when he lost his family. He didn't get to know them. Bruce was 8 years old when he lost his parents.
And from the sound of things, he had a very close relationship with them.
Yeah. He
as close as any 8-year-old could be to his parents.
And
Without getting creepy.
yeah, and like Jon Stewart, as far as I know, he had a decent relationship with his family. Wonder Woman, like, as far as I know, like, she still had, like, I mean, she had her mom. Wally, like, I don't know if his origin was any different in the DCAU, but his, like, Wally didn't suffer familial loss.
I think what they did in DCAU was they kind of hybridized his origin with his berries.
Well, I mean, his origin in the comics was pretty much one for with berries. The only difference being that, like Wally recreated the experiment that gave Flash his powers.
I'm talking specifically for the cartoon, though. I think what they did was they made a kind of a hybrid origin of Barry's and Wally's origin for that version of the Flash. Because at the time, there was still some mystery going on to who this Flash was.
Well, what I'm saying is like, even in the comics, their origins are pretty much the same one for one.
Fair enough.
Because both of their origins involved a lab experiment that gave them super speed. Now, Eobard killing Barry's mom, I think that was a later thing. How much later, I don't know. But the point still stands that he didn't suffer any familial loss. And then there's Martian Manhunter, who,
The thing with Batman and the DCAU is that they remembered something that a lot of Batman media tends to forget. Yeah, you can have Batman shouting, "I am vengeance, I am the knight," as much as you want, but there's more to it than that. What drives Batman is not simply a need for revenge for the parents he was robbed of. The pain he felt is what gave him his empathy. For as badly as he hurts his enemies, like, as badly as he beats up criminals, like, an important thing to note, especially with this Batman, is that he gave so many of them a second chance. Smaller time crooks who really didn't do anything overly heinous wrong, he gave them jobs and opportunities to turn their lives around. I think the biggest example of the pure empathy and how much Bruce cares about his fellow human being, in fact, his fellow person in general, considering, was Ace of the Royal Flush Gang when her powers eventually ended up killing her.
That's right.
Batman sat next to her and stayed with her until the moment finally came.
Instead of doing
the entire time.
Instead of doing what Waller wanted him to do, which, okay, I give Waller a lot of shit, but at the same time, I understand where she's coming from with Ace at that point in time, because Ace is pretty fucking dangerous.
Ace's powers were unpredictable, and that was a genuine concern. Nobody knew what would happen if she ended up losing control in her final moments. Because we have essentially a low-scale reality warper on our hands. Dude, I cried when I watched that episode. I'm certain a lot of people did.
Yeah.
It was a sad scene, and they wrote it very well.
that I think so. I am a big fan of the Batman, the one with
The more recent one actually titled The Batman.
Yes, thank you. I just can't remember the actor's name. Chris Patterson. No. Is that it? Anyway. I love that movie because he starts off on the whole I am vengeance thing. It's not until near the end of the movie that he realizes he has to be more than that. He has to be a symbol of hope. Because all being vengeance did was give the Riddler room to rise, to bring his own people together to try and commit heinous acts in the name of vengeance. Bruce realized what he was doing wasn't working.
Among many things, Batman is a symbol of duality. The man in the mask, vengeance and compassion, hope and fear.
It's kind of why I want to see Batman with both a hope Blue Lantern ring and a Yellow Lantern ring. Because yeah, he's scared. Yeah, he's an embodiment of fear, but he's also an embodiment of hope. Megacopter! Overcompensating much?
Have you ever read All-Star Batman? Oh yeah, The Adventures of Crazy Steve and Dick Grayson, age 12. Asbar was not very good, to put it mildly.
He's shitting out rockets! And I died.
All-Star Batman 2016. I don't think I've heard of that one.
Did Linkara review that one?
I know he reviewed it. I know he reviewed Asbar, but I don't remember an All-Star Batman 2016. Basically, he takes Two-Face across country, his friend, and protects him all the while Two-Face is taunting him. The amount of care and dedication that Batman has for his friend is insane. Well,
Yeah.
nobody ever accused Bruce of being a sane individual.
I mean, he dresses up as a bat, for God's sake. Have you guys heard about those, like, Batman analog horror videos that have been, like, spreading on the net recently? I haven't seen any yet, but I'm intrigued with the idea.
News to me. I'm still trying to wade through all the MLP infection AUs just to get to what I'm actually trying to watch. Some basic freaking music videos to just fill the air while I'm drawing and working on other things.
Well, now I'm
Well,
looking
now
them
I'm
up.
looking them up.
They are the premise that I've been able to understand it is fairly interesting. Because there's a bunch of different ones, but the idea is basically that Batman's not just Batman may not even be human, basically. He's like some sort of bat monster that may or may not be killing people. We killed the Megacopter. Yes, I know what I said.
And I'm pretty sure the game itself spelled it that way, so...
Something bipartisan, something unilateral military intervention. Let's go! Honestly, these bits before the mission, like, as dumb as they are, they're kind of fucking funny, man.
Threat level cherry.
I think after this one,
I love how, like, for each successive mission, they've just been getting more and more vague with the mission thing. Just get in there and shoot things. We don't really care why.
So, I think after this mission, we will call it a day.
Yeah, we're about 2.5 hours in.
Bronan! The Brobarian! Oh shit!
I missed that. What?
So I unlocked Conan the Barbarian. I used this special move where he jumps up into the air and slams his sword down, creating a shockwave. Right onto...
And immediately felt it was death.
Because I did it on a bridge, it's very easily destroyed.
Yeah, sorry.
Bronarian lasted 2 seconds. Was shocking. Didn't see that coming. Moments in action film history ever. Yeah, that sounds like a Watch Mojo video.
And now I am Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah, like, back to the whole point that was the original point I was trying to make. It's crazy how much that whole Justice Lord story arc ended up affecting the future of the DCAU.
Yeah.
Batman and Beyond and the Data Project basically don't happen as we know them without it.
Yeah. The Justice Lords was a... Like, I can already imagine the YouTube video of, like, the Justice Lord Superman and with the title, or with the caption, this was a game changer, or something like that.
I just consider it like a big flashing neon sign showing how dedicated the DCAU team actually were. Like, they had some passion for their craft.
They're the entire reason I say that DC is better at animation than Marvel.
And that is actually some decent competition, considering, like, while Marvel had some duds, we still have had some great ones, like the X-Men 90s series, the Spider-Man 90s series. I'd argue the Fantastic Four was pretty good. I'd argue Iron Man was pretty good. Not amazing in either case, but good.
Iron Man Armored Adventures was pretty decent. Granted, that's a later
90s
one.
Iron Man
Well,
and Armored
yeah.
Adventures, but yeah, Armored Adventures was great. If we're counting stuff that happened after the 90s, then do I even have to mention Spectacular Spider-Man?
No, not really. After that one got canceled, it was all downhill from there.
Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes?
That was the one that had the Wasp in it, right?
Yeah. Avengers EMH basically got canceled and rebooted because of the Avengers movie. There were other factors in play, including but not limited to just Disney being Disney. But, that is the long and short of it. They wanted to have a show more synchronized with the movie.
I would be honest with that. I hate it when they do that.
They did that with so many shows.
That's what happened, in a nutshell, to Spectacular Spider-Man. They basically canned it because the rights issues were a nightmare, and they wanted to better synchronize with the fact that, hey, Disney has the rights to the character in terms of like animation, so let's just make a new Spider-Man show. We lost out on Spectacular Season 3 for this, and I'm just going... I had actual hope for Ultimate Spider-Man because I'd heard so many good things about the comics. I didn't get to read too many of them, but I'd heard so many good things about the comics, and when I heard that the writer for them was on board for the show, I thought, okay, maybe we'll actually get something good. And then episode 1 happened, and I'm like, not completely losing hope. I only started regaining faith in the show once we actually started getting into the multiverse stuff. Because who knew? Taking away the crew of keepers that Spidey was supposed to be helping train in the first season, and instead surrounding Spidey with, you know, actual spider-themed hero pose that had basically worked better with his skill set and personality, worked really well.
Who'd have thunk? Certainly not Marvel or Disney.
Now let me lay a little bit of trivia on you. I don't remember all of the shows, but like, there technically is a second Marvel animated universe in between the 90s one and the one Disney is attempting to set up still. And this universe consisted of Wolverine and the X-Men. I believe there was a Hulk cartoon that was also going on around the time. Avengers EMH, and Spectacular Spider-Man. to the degree that while he was not voiced by Josh Keaton in the crossovers, the Spider-Man that actually does appear in Avengers EMH is supposed to be the one from Spectacular.
Nice.
If you believe the rumors, there is an audio track that went unused. Basically, the rumor goes that Josh Keaton actually did voice Peter Parker / Spider-Man for the episode where we first got to meet Spidey in EMH, but was dubbed over when Ultimate Spider-Man went into production.
Yeah.
I will give the actor, say what you will about the actor who played Spidey in that show, I will at least give credit where it's due when they wrote him right, he did a decent job.
You do know who voiced him, right?
I do, and I'm also aware that he's been in hot water for quite a long time. I am separating the art from the artist here. I am saying that when he was written well, he was also performed well. That said, both were rare occurrences.
The only thing from Ultimate Spider-Man that I actually like is when he's teaming up with Deadpool and Spider-Man says, "Oh no, a booby trap." And Deadpool's response was, "You said trap." Because, like, honestly, that is, like, the best subversion of that joke I have ever heard.
It is from that very crossover that I picked up and started to use unalive instead of the K word, as Deadpool puts it.
Alright, Bronan round 3. Never mind.
As far as Spidey cartoons go, I think my expectations can't get much lower than the more recent one that was on. Adjective with Spider-Man, as I call it. Because unfortunately, it's running in the contest of how many things can we just call Marvel's Spider-Man?
Here's hoping freshman year is good. I know that's a lot to hope for, but still.
It's like, I desperately wanted that adjectiveless Spider-Man show to be good because, like, we needed a palate cleanser after Ultimate. And what immediately killed my hope was that this was supposed to somehow be both a reboot and continuation simultaneously of Ultimate.
Because that makes sense.
This casually glares at the people who insisted that the Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast were simultaneously a prequel and reboot of the Bayverse.
Well, the thing is, like, that's what they were supposed to.
Sorry, go.
That's what Bumblebee was supposed to be, because if it didn't do well, then yes, it'd be a part of the Bayverse. If it did well, then it'd be a full reboot. They were hedging their bets, essentially.
And only recently did they finally get their heads out of their backsides long enough to go, oh yeah, it was a reboot the whole time.
Well, yeah, because it did good.
say, particularly after Rise of the Beast, which basically tore the Baver's canon to shreds.
Yep.
Speaking of which, of projects that we're hoping do well, that G.I. Joe crossover movie, I am cautiously optimistic for that one.
Same. You know what would be really fucking funny?
Yeah?
If they bring back, John Cena's character, but turn him into Chuckles.
If only I could remember the character's name, I'd say make him Hawk instead.
That actually would be interesting. Like a younger Hawk.
I heard Chuckles, my brain instantly went to... I'm an elder
I'm assuming this is a Chuckles I'm not familiar with.
Some D&D fancy.
We've been joined.
Hi, Webb.
Hello.
How's food?
It tastes good.
Yay.
How are you holding up?
Sore. It's very sore.
Ouch.
Alright, we blew up Satan and we're done with the level. I mean, that's the goal of every level, kill Satan. Oh, damn it! We're not done yet!
Sky Fortress!
Sky Fortress!
What were you saying, babe?
Happy 4th of July, Webb. Come and save the motherfucking day, yeah.
Yeah, I have two things to celebrate today. Not just Independence Day, but my sister Rapidash's birthday. Go figure, I have a sibling who shares a birthday with the country we live in.
Bronan! Round 4, let's go! Sorry.
No, seriously, when he says round 4, he means it.
Yeah.
It's become what a gag that every time we got this character, he died, like, immediately.
The Broketeer! I love that movie, The Rocketeer. I wish Disney would do more with it than just some show on... Wow, he's dead already. Than just some show on Disney Junior.
I'm pretty sure the Broketeer lasted even in less time than Bronarian.
Yeah, he did. Alright, Dr. Brones. got Lambro over here. Like, the whole joke is, like, their name has the word bro in it.
It's a prerequisite to join the force.
The Broforce. You don't even have to be male, actually. Because Ellen Ripley is on the force.
The woman dealt with multiple alien infestations and survived every time. Every time it mattered. So, absolutely.
Name an android?
There was a movie where she was a clone.
A clone?
Yep.
Oh yes, that one. Short version, they cloned her, hoping to also clone the alien queen embryo that she had been unknowingly incubating at that time for more xenomorph experiments.
It wasn't a good movie.
Oh, no,
It really wasn't.
I remember the movie. It's just I couldn't remember if it was an android or something else.
Alright, threat level Burgundy. This is Iraqistan. And they said we wouldn't be able to find it on a map.
I thought we were ending it here.
Yeah, I still wanna take a look at the mission briefings. Threat level Salmon. Ukraine? More like our crane. Claim it for free. Okay, that's a little
That is so
I suggest we can never go near that level, at least on stream.
So this game came out before all of that happened.
I know.
You
The
know.
times. The times.
This game has not aged very well, much like 80s action movies.
No movie feels like it ages well.
So anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for today.
I was here for 5 minutes.
At least not on stream we touched that level.
This is just a one-off, by the way, because 4th of July!
You know what? Fair.
I was trying to find the most American game I could possibly play, and I remembered I had Broforce on my Switch, so...
For some reason.
I mean...
I would suggested Fallout again.
America, fuck yeah. Frick yeah.
It ain't perfect, but it's home.
It's definitely not perfect. Definitely not perfect. Anyway, yeah. So, happy 4th of July to all of my American viewers. And to all of my non-American viewers. Happy Thursday.
Heh.
Or Friday, if you're on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will be back tomorrow, possibly with more Alone in the Dark. Maybe Fallout. Because playing Fallout 76 on Friday just feels right.
Fallout Friday. Fallout Friday.
Oh my god, AJ.
AJ, no!
Yeah, I gotta wonder how the UK feels about 4th of July. They probably don't. They probably don't care at this point. Like, they see us celebrating 4th of July and they're like, oh, right. Today's that day. Moving on. Kind of like whenever, like, Americans talk about Vietnam. Right. Moving on.
Oh yeah, that day, the rebellion.
Depends on the region, just like us. Ah. One day, I'm gonna see someone say that the 4th of July is offensive, and when that happens, there are many possibilities. Either A, I lose all faith in humanity. B, I punch him in the face. C, scream out, offensive to who?
I quite literally was about to ask you haven't seen someone say that yet?
Nope. And
Hey, here,
hopefully it'll stay that way.
here's a fourth option. D, all of the above.
Yes.
5th option, E, laugh in their face.
Laughing American.
Laughing in freedom.
Oh.
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Our country, it's very, very far from perfect. You've got a lot of shit that needs working out. But it's home, and for better or worse, I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah. Like, America's got a lot of problems, both currently and historically. But...
And I'm certain we'll continue to have problems into the future.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Listen, no country's perfect.
Yeah,
Unless you're Atlantis, and then you get destroyed for being too perfect.
that's the thing that always bugs me is when people talk shit about America. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware that every other country in the world was absolutely perfect with no war crimes. Is it Canada?
We don't talk about Canada.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. Books in Japan.
Oh my god.
And it's not even Pearl Harbor.
Damn.
It's for Unit 731. Don't know what that is? Look it up. I guarantee you'll have
I'd rather not.
Unfortunately, I do kind of have an idea of what you're talking about.
worse than what the Nazis did.
Even shorter version. If there was ever going to be a zombie apocalypse, that's where it would have come from.
Fun fact, in the Amazon
Oh.
yeah, okay. I
All
got
that said,
Happy
let's
birthday, Happy birthday, America.
enjoy yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. Good food. Stay hydrated. Have fun with your families.
If you have a burn ban, please make sure you don't set off sparklers over the grass.
And also, be mindful of pets.
Yeah.
With that all said and done,
Mekuman.
I don't know.
And the ever so slightly tired web.
and as always, if you like what we do, please consider
Isn't there?
supporting the stream by donating at below on Twitch. If you can, however,
means the world to us.
Let's go!
EDF, EDF, EDF.